Yeah, I've been drinking. I've been drinking. Pa-tay people. I guess that's what I'm supposed to do, right? In the place to be, what's going on? It's me. If it's Sunday, it must be time for yet another long overdue movie review. How long overdue? Well, this came out in 2019. And if you ask anybody who is a member of the infamous Beyhive, I should have seen this 2 days before it came out. Because Beyonce is the greatest thing to ever happen to everything, ever, of all time, ever and ever and ever, amen. I am not a Beyonce fan. I'm coming from this from a completely different point of view. Do I hate Beyonce? Nah, not really. Just her music is not made for me. It's not written for me. I don't. No, I don't. I don't have a vagina, and I'm not attracted to other penis. So it's not for me. It's not written for me. In general, it's not. I'm not the. I ain't the target demo. I'm not the target demo. However, there are some Beyonce songs that I do like. You know, "Crazy in Love" was fucking ridiculous. It was a rocking fucking song. It was incredible. So I'm familiar with Miss Knowles / Carter, Miss Beyonce, Miss Bay. So I'm coming at this from a completely different perspective. Looking at this as a spoiler versus spoiler-free thing is sort of weird here because it's a concert film. Like, there's not a whole lot of spoilers per se in this. She's singing songs. Like, what's there to spoil? There's not a whole lot to spoil in it, but I suppose we'll do the thing anyway. Beforehand, the non-spoiler stuff, I can just tell you, the production is a huge production. It's a huge thing and an amazingly large and grand scale performance that she gave at Coachella. And probably if you're watching this, you already saw it anyway, so I don't even know why we're doing this, but let's go ahead and do the thing anyway that we always do here, where I take a sip before we dip into spoiler territory. It's a much better cocktail. I did this much better this time. All right. First thing that comes to mind is the dancers and the musicians and all of the people that were employed here in this particular concert. They did an amazing job. And if there weren't so many of them, you could say that you hope that somebody gets picked up somewhere, somebody gets noticed. This is a big break for somebody. This is a big thing. Realistically, though, because there were so many of them, there were hundreds of them. It had to be at least 100 in between on and off stage. That it's probably harder to get anybody noticed from something like this. They can all put it on their resume, fantastic, and that can propel them to other things. Maybe they'll end up working with each other somewhere down the line. But it's hard to think maybe somebody will get noticed from this. Particularly when everybody was so good in what they did. They're dancing, they're performing, they're singing, their musicianship. I looking at this, I'm like, hey, everybody here should get a check. Like more than just the check that Beyonce's giving them. It's like they should all, it's a shame that there's not going to be any like break. Or probably there might be. I mean, law of averages. Somebody is probably going to come out of this with a career. Notable career that that a lot of people know, but it's hard to sit there and be like, damn, like there's no like breakouts, like anybody should be elevated from performing with this particular person, as they should, you know what I mean? Like I'm sitting there like, damn, like they all are very, very talented, and it's a shame, and it's a sea of talented people that are all realistically gonna be, just like a whole other sea of super talented people. Like, damn. Like, they should all be very notable, and we should all see them in other places and be like, oh, yeah, they were in Beyonce's Coachella shit. But how are we going to know until they make it big and be like, yeah, I was in Beyonce's Coachella shit. You can see me off in the corner or even right next to her. Like, it's one of those things where this was very well crafted for Beyonce in that it's hard to take your eyes off her. But in the moments where she's not on stage, she's probably doing a costume change or whatever the fuck, it's easy to see where all the talent is. And even when she is on stage, it's easy to see and to hear where all the talent is. The horns. My God, the horns. Because so apparently Beyonce brought in HBCU talent, bands, etc., from all over the place, dancers, stick twirler and everything, all that other stuff. And that was very cool, and you could see it on the stage. You could see where the performance is. You could see where the money went on the stage. It's a spectacular show. It's a spectacular event that you're sitting there and watching. And if you're a Beyonce fan, you're losing your mind. And I get why you would lose your mind if you're a Beyonce fan. It's the parallel that I'm drawing as I'm watching this is between Beyonce and Michael Jackson, because both of them are singers, both of them are dancers, both of them, if this is anything to go by versus what Michael was, both of them put on these amazing shows, these events, these lights, things. They command the stage. They do all this stuff. The easiest comparison is to Michael Jackson, not Prince, because Beyonce's not a musician. Prince was a musician. So the easiest parallel is between Michael. And again, you can see where all this goes, and it's an amazing thing to watch. Except I'm not a Beyonce fan, so 2 hours and 15 minutes is a long time to spend with Miss Knowles if you're not a Beyonce fan. The song with the voice changer that she did near the beginning, I didn't like. I don't know what the song it was, but she started changing the voice. Whatever. That's a misstep. I mentioned the horns. Amazing. The horns. The drums. Amazing. The drums. Like the blah, 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 blah. You felt all that shit. You really felt all that shit. And that was really cool. And I would imagine if you're sitting there in Coachella for the 2 days that they ran this, apparently they did this a week apart, you know, even in the heat, you're feeling all that, and it's an amazing, and you're probably high as fuck, and it's amazing, super amazing experience. They did do some on the road shit to fill the time. So I don't know how long the actual performance was. I didn't see the live reactions to it or anything like that. This film, Homecoming, a film by Beyonce, is 2 hours and 15 minutes. They do on the road stuff. They do setting stuff up and the rehearsals and all this other stuff. And one of the first cutaways that we hear about is Beyonce's physical sacrifice she had to do in order to do this. She was supposed to do it the year before, and she got pregnant. And got pregnant with twins, and they showed footage of her so that you know it was not a fake belly. It's her. She was in a bikini, so you could see it was really her. And they even had a video of Jay in the hospital kissing his newborn baby, as not as it came out, but after it came out or whatever. That's a little subtle dig, I'm sure, at the fake belly rumors. Listen, just as a performer, I'm gonna try to stick with this review as a performance and as a performer and as the concert itself. But since they mentioned it, Beyonce's in that echelon with Michael Jackson in that nothing that is that she doesn't seem real, right? It doesn't nothing involving her seems not calculated and not a business decision, including the children, and including the marriage. Nothing isn't a business decision, or at least appears to be all about business. It seems like she's born and bred for business, and everything she does is a calculated business decision. Emotions or whatever. She's about her money and about her business. And listen, if that's what she is, and that's how she lives, and that's gotten her to this point, I get it. I understand it. I get it. Listen, listen, different stock, different breed. I get it. And she made it and she wants to keep it. I get it. I completely understand it. However, what that translates into is, especially when you reach this echelon of otherworldliness in between your fans and the people who aren't fans, not necessarily haters, but the not fans. Yes, Beyhive, just because somebody isn't a fan of Beyonce doesn't mean they hate her. But the not fans, it creates this mythos around you that is hard to escape as you know, it's weird. It's a weird thing. Now her stage presence makes her seem more personable here than anything else, than any interviews, than any of her acting gigs, and anything else. Her stage presence makes her seem more of a person, and even the backstage footage, she's more of a person. In this footage, they're talking about the physical sacrifices after she had the baby and trying to get back, and they show footage of her and rehearsals, etc., etc. Now, also take that with a grain of salt because it's not like she doesn't know a camera's in her face. So the real Beyonce, obviously, we'll never ever know. Come on, she's a billionaire off in a fucking New York, high rise of a New York City somewhere with 87 bodyguards and 27 nannies. Like, no one will ever know what she actually is like. Probably even and especially the people involved in her life. But from what we see on screen, she seems more personable. Get what they're going for here. Good job in doing it. I'm a little bit more skeptical. So, I take it with a huge grain of salt. She comes out for one thing in this black bubble goose jacket. She catch a bullet in a bubble goose. You remember bubble gooses? You remember the big puffy jackets? You remember those? You remember bad? Remember those big bubble gooses? Did I have a bubble? I didn't have a bubble goose. I had a starter jacket that was 49er starter jacket that was kind of puffy, but I didn't have a straight up bubble goose with the lines across that made you look like the Michelin Man, except in black. I didn't have those. But she had this when it was a hoodie, and she came out in it, and it looked terrible. It looked bad. It looked too big. Like somebody forgot what they actually looked like back in the day. It didn't look right. It didn't look right. Jay then comes out for a song, and everybody in the front row acts super duper surprised. Like he doesn't go out to her concerts on a regular basis and sing a song. Especially after he got smacked up in the elevator. Like, it's not like, oh my God. It's not like Michael and Janet on stage together, which apparently never happened. Like, they did Scream in 95, and neither of them showed up at either one the other one's concerts for some, like, really? Like, ever? I guess the ego thing. But, once you're Mr. Beyonce, I guess you don't have an ego anymore. So and he's retired, right? So he's showing up to her shit. And it's her big moment, so he shows up there, and everybody's acting all super duper surprised, like he wasn't. Come on, like even if you're like, oh, they're a super married couple and super in love with each other, he's at least in the arena. If you like, come on, get out of here. Super duper surprised for what? You knew it was coming. That song they did together, I think it was Deja Vu. They kept saying Deja Vu, so I'm gonna call it Deja Vu. I'm not looking it up. I'm talking right now. I'm on a roll. I'm in a rhythm. That was my favorite song of the entire concert. Period. Point blank. A lot of the songs just kind of went over my head. Not over my head, but they kind of went past me, or they didn't connect, or whatever. Again, not my cup of tea. I can see what she was doing. I can see the musicianship. Again, I can see the hard work. I could see why they would be popular. They sound better than a lot of other pop music out right now, but it just wasn't. Again, I wasn't the target demo. The Deja Vu song I really liked. I really dug that. Once again, people were surprised. Destiny's Child comes out, and they're like, "Oh my God, Destiny's Child!" Like, they did that already a few different times, and like Kelly and Michelle are doing anything, and shit. Like, come on. Like, they ain't doing shit. You might as well bring them out there. What the fuck, give a little paycheck. Solange came out. Notice that they didn't actually cut to the crowd looking like super shocked when Solange came out. I think a lot of them didn't even really recognize that it was her. Like, even Beyonce said Solange, and like, it's hard to recognize it was her. And they did a stupid little dance or whatever, and they left. Okay, fine, whatever. Good for her, I suppose. Overall, And they kept cutting back and forth. They did on the cut back and forth after they did the first one with Beyonce, and I think a couple other ones with Beyonce. One where she's, talking about fitting back into her dress. Yeah, okay. I'm sure that was a huge struggle for you and your personal trainer and your personal food chef and all that other shit. But okay, great. Good job. Her progress is her progress, and her journey is her journey, and, I'm sure it was in her world tough for her to do. I'm sure by comparison of the things in her life that she physically has to do, at any given moment was a hard thing to do. In the context of that, in the context of an average person losing weight, fuck out of here. But in the context of Beyonce trying to get ready for the show, etc., with every conceivable aid at her disposal, good on you. But aside from that, they cut to different backstage on the road footage with the dancers, etc. They do feature them. Now, again, because there's so many of them, we don't really get to know any of them. We get to see them. We get to see their hard work, but we don't really get to know any of them. No one's, and I guess that's for the better, because of a crew that large, like how do you single any one person out or any two people out and get to know them and their names, etc. It's kind of hard to figure that part out. They are there, but it's hard to feature them. And also, ain't nobody gonna be featured but Beyonce. Like, she's Beyonce. She's the star. She is the star. She is all eyes on her. All eyes on her. As far as this movie is concerned, and I'm shocked at this. I'm looking at the Netflix rating for it right now. It's a little over 3 stars. 3 stars and like one little hangy thing off the arm of the 4th star. I'm shocked. I thought the Beyhive would have had this and kept this at 5 stars for the entirety of its run here on Netflix and beaten the hell out of anybody who rated anything lower than 5 stars. I'm shocked. Surreal. You've mentioned the Beyhive multiple times. The Beyhive, multiple times. How are you doing this and talking about this movie like this, and you're gonna give it a rating of something? How are you gonna be able to handle them like this? Because out of $15, Homecoming, a film by Beyonce. I'm laughing because I know there's gonna be hatred. But fine. Because this ain't 15 out of $15. And again, alright. Here's how I want to try to figure this out. So, no, I'm not a Beyonce fan. But for the execution of this concert, for the execution of the songs, particularly by the band and the dancers, Beyonce's Beyonce. Although she works hard, you can see her working hard in this as well. Like on the stage, like she is professional. She is professional in everything she does on the stage. Get it? Well done. Well played. Out of $15 though, and I'm trying to think because it's hard. So really what the comparison should be is against other concert films, right? So what are some good concert films? Or even recent concert films? This Is It, Michael Jackson, which was fine. It was what it was. It wasn't a complete concert. It was more of a rehearsal film. Other concerts. I've seen concert footage. It's hard to sit here and put out of $15. Out of $15, no qualifiers, out of $15. Homecoming, a film by Beyonce, is worth. Man, this is a hard. See, because this is really, because it's concert footage, it's hard for me to narrow down a number. It's hard for me to put a number on it. I will say the length was a little bit long for me. Again, maybe because I'm not a Beyonce fan, it was a bit long for me. If you are a Beyonce fan, you already know for you it's 15 out of 15 is hell. For you it's 98 out of $15. For me, though, man, out of $15, Homecoming, a film by Beyonce, is worth. Where do I want to put this? Would I watch it again? Is a portion of it. If a girl I was seeing through this on, would I be annoyed? No, I wouldn't. If a girl I was seeing threw this on, I'd probably watch it with her. If she wanted me to watch it with her, I wouldn't care. One way or the other. If I had something else to do, I'd do that, too, or instead, or whatever. It's, it's fine. I don't see myself, singing the songs or anything like that. So, realistically, and I've gone back and forth on this number, but I think this really is the number for me to put on it. Homecoming, a film by Beyonce, out of $15. You ready for it? 10 out of $15. Come on. Come on, motherfuckers. Come on. Come on. I'm here for you. Bust a move. But you bust a move. Come on. 10 out of 15. 10 out of 15. And here's why 10 out of 15. Still above average. 10 out of 15. But again, I could do without most of this. I don't see myself coming back to watch this ever again. They had the one really good song that I liked, the Deja Vu song. Everything else was what it was. I saw the work that went into it. Good for them on the work. That's really what drove the majority of this number. But for myself personally, I'm not watching this again. I don't care. I'm not watching this again. It's good for what it was. Everybody, if you're a fan of Beyonce, great, fantastic, have fun. I'm not. I don't care. I don't hate her. I don't care one way or the other. Just, she ain't like Soulja Boy to me, where it's like fuck Soulja Boy or fuck Beyonce. No, Beyonce is a business. She's an entity. Go forth and be that business and that entity. This concert, very well done. Both nights we spliced back and forth with the footage. I don't need to see it again. I'm fine not seeing it again. You guys, though, all the Beyhive, come on. Come on, Beyhive. Come on. I'm right here. You can come at me down there in the comments section and let me know why I am correct with this rating and this rating system. First reason why is because I am the greatest at this movie rating shit. That's the first thing. Second reason is because I am your favorite YouTuber. Yes, I am, which is why you should share this video and why you should like this video. You can subscribe too, but share and like and let me know. By the way, I can imagine my podcast co-host Trey talking some shit about my rating about this Beyonce thing. Oh, you have a podcast? Yes, I do. Every Thursday it comes out. It's called How Do We Even Get Here podcast. All the links are in the description, but if you don't want to look in the description, go to tinyurl.com/getheretube for the YouTube channel, or on all your audio podcast platforms. We are there. We are on 13 of them as of recording this. All you have to do is search How Do We Even Get Here, and you'll find us, or go to the link tree, and you'll find the direct links all the way there. You can support the channel in many, many ways. Once again, the links are down there, just above your comment. And in the meantime, in between time, I'm going to keep drinking. Cheers.
I'm a nice guy, I'm a nice place, with a nice smile on my nice face. Turn it back and I'm making sure my night's straight. And when you're out of town, I'll be making sure your wife's straight.